Hello, we're reading Genesis 35. Jacob returns to Bethel. Then God said to Jacob, "Go up to Bethel and settle there and build an altar there to God, who appeared to you when you were fleeing from your brother Esau." So Jacob said to his household, "Get rid of the foreign gods you have with you, and purify yourselves and change your clothes. Then come, let us go up to Bethel, where I will build an altar to God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and who has been with me wherever I have gone." So they gave Jacob all the foreign gods they had, and the rings in their ears, and Jacob buried them under the oak at Shechem. Then they set out, and the terror of God fell on the towns all around them, so that no one pursued them. Jacob and all the people with him came to Luz, that is Bethel. There he built an altar and called the place El Bethel, because it was there that God revealed himself to him when he was fleeing from his brother. Now Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, Rebekah is Jacob's mother, died and was buried under the oak outside Bethel, so it was named Alon Bakuth. After Jacob returned from Padan Aram, God appeared to him again and blessed him. God said to him, "Your name is Jacob, but you will no longer be called Jacob. Your name will be Israel." So he named him Israel. And God said to him, "I am God Almighty." That means El Shaddai. El Shaddai. I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and increase in number. A nation and a community of nations will come from you, and kings will be among your descendants. The land I gave to Abraham and Isaac I also give to you, and I will give this land to your descendants after you." Then God went up from him at the place where he had talked with him. Jacob set up a stone pillar at the place where God had talked with him, and he poured out a drink offering on it. He also poured oil on it. Jacob called the place where God had talked with him Bethel. The deaths of Rachel and Isaac. Then they moved on from Bethel. While they were still some distance from Ephrath, Rachel began to give birth and had great difficulty. Remember, Jacob has 2 wives, and then actually 2 more, so he has 4 wives. But he really loves Rachel, and she was giving birth to a child. Earlier on, she gave birth to Joseph, and then she said something like, "May I have one more child?" So she gave birth to Benjamin, but she died giving birth to Benjamin. So over her tomb, Jacob set up a pillar, and to this day that pillar marks Rachel's tomb. Israel, that's Jacob, moved on again and pitched his tent beyond Migdal Eder. While Israel was living in that region, Reuben, that's his oldest son, went in and slept with Bilhah, and Israel heard of it. So Jacob had 12 sons: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph and Benjamin, Dan and Naphtali, Gad and Asher. Jacob came home. He went home to his father Isaac in Mamre, It is near Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac, that's his grandfather and his father, had stayed. Isaac, his father, Jacob's father, lived 180 years. Then he died, with many people around him, very old already and full of experience. He lived life. And remember, we're talking about Jacob. His father, again, is Isaac. So his sons, Esau and Jacob. So Jacob and his brother buried their father. Let's move on to Genesis 36. It is titled Esau's Descendants, the Rulers of Edom. Genesis 36. This is the account of the family line of Esau, that is Edom. So Esau took wives from women of Canaan. So remember, he had Ada as a wife, and Oholibama. Sounds like Obama. The holier Obama, but a lady did. Oh, no, okay. Oholibama and Basemath, 3 wives. Ada had Eliphaz. Basemath had Reuel, and Oholibama had Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. Esau took his wives and sons and daughters and all his people, his animals, other animals, and all the goods he had acquired in Canaan, and moved to a land some distance from his brother Jacob. They had many possessions, so they could not remain together. So Esau settled in the hill country of Seir. This is the account of the family line of Esau in the hill country of Seir. So once again, there's Eliphaz, Reuel, and what is the third? A lot of kids. Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. From all of those came Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, Kenaz, and Eliphaz had Amalek too. And Reuel had Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. And let's see, there's a lot of them. A lot of kids. So these are all the children of Esau. And they had chiefs. It's interesting. So there's something about Seir. Esau is also called Edom, and Esau is Seir, and then there's something called the sons of Seir, the Horite. They're called chiefs. Horite chiefs. Okay, this passage is called the rulers of Edom. These were the kings who reigned in Edom before any Israelite king reigned. Oh, remember, there's someone called King David. Before him was a guy named King Saul. Those were the first kings in Israel. So, spoiler alert. There are two twin brothers, like two kingdoms within a womb, struggling for position. Not really, but I don't know. So Esau, remember, is not in this line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But from Jacob would come King David. But Esau is older, and then he moved to the hill country of Sion. And Esau is Edom. So from Esau came kings too. But, he's older, so he had kings come from his descendants. His descendants were kings before his brother Jacob, had David. Thank you for listening. Keep God first. He'll take your places.